Subnautica really is a one-of-a-kind game. I think it's one of the only survival games I find myself constantly going back to. Its gameplay is relaxing while also being the scariest game you've ever played. Its music is intense, but also can be cathartic at the same time. And its water might be in the top 3 waters in gaming. I mean, look at this. Animal Crossing has nothing on this. But one thing that really stands out to me in Subnautica is how the game truly isolates you and puts the feeling of despair in the player's head.
I think I'm actually going to die down here.
Playing pre-recorded distress call.
Probably the first reminder that you are alone and aren't getting off this planet from Subnautica would be the lifepods. After building the radio, you'll get occasional signals from Aurora survivors with coordinates on where to find them. Going to these coordinates, you find desecrated sunken lifepods, usually around a dangerous new area. Not only are these good as a gameplay mechanic, pushing the player into new areas and giving them usually new things to craft, but are also really good for reminding the player that you are the sole survivor and there is no one to help you. And like any abandoned structure in a game, there is audio or message logs left to give you context as to what happened. These audio logs usually provide just how lucky you got to land where you did and instill this kind of survivor's guilt.
This is Avery Quinn of Trading Ship Sunbeam. Aurora, do you read?
I think this is the biggest case for how Subnautica makes you feel despair and loneliness. Hearing another alive person's voice and telling you that they are coming to rescue you and is something that never really is done in a survival game. And then to see a countdown pop up and shows when you're being rescued just causes a lot of confusion in the player. I remember when it happened to me in my first playthrough and I thought I had beat the game somehow or did something to get like a secret ending. I was so excited and interested to see if I had bested Subnautica and survived the planet that I actually immediately got in my Seamoth, went to the island, and waited the entire 40 minutes to be rescued. I sat and just waited for Sunbeam to arrive. I didn't even explore the giant, totally inconspicuous looking turret to the right. After the 40 minutes passed, I finally saw the Sunbeam coming to the planet and got super excited. I was never going to have to go close to a Reaper again. I wasn't going to have to spend any more hours trying to find something like 2 silver or 1 diamond. I was a little confused on why this giant building was shifting and making an alarm sound, but I didn't think much of it.
Change course. Set thrusters to full.
My real favorite thing about this part of the game is the silence that falls after it. No PDA comment like in the Aurora explosion. No stupid comment made by the protagonist that takes away from the actual moment. Like, could you imagine if Riley, after watching what was at the time the only way to get off this planet, explode in a million pieces, went like...
Where's everyone going? Bingo? Until then? Well, there's always the view.
I think one of the more powerful methods that the game has of putting despair into the players is the story of the Degasi survivors. Is it Degasi or Degasi? Or Degrassi? Finding the bases and PDAs of the 3 survivors not only reminds you that you are alone on this planet, but also what is going to happen to you if you stay on it. Hearing Bart talk about him struggling with the Kara disease and how he's experiencing hallucinations really puts into the player how the only way to survive this planet is to leave it. And you can't leave it because, again...
What are you?
One of the more subtle parts of Subnautica that made me feel alone was the lengths the game took to make you feel like the character you play as. Having the character have no voice other than some shrieks and screams really allows yourself to feel like Spider. Like you yourself is stranded, is what I meant. It's like the same thing as Fallout 3 or New Vegas, where you don't hear your character talk, so any dialogue you pick for your character to say, you read in your own voice, immersing you even more into said character. And while Subnautica's protagonist has a face and a name and everything, which you don't really ever see in game, I still felt like I was the one stranded on the planet. This idea is mostly abandoned in Below Zero, where you play as a character who actually won't shut up the entire fucking game. Of course, I don't think Below Zero was really intended to make you feel alone. Instead, I think it was mostly meant to make you just want to play Subnautica again, because there's a lot of fucking issues with Below Zero.
Now you go among the stars, and I fall among the sand.
There are so many different things to talk about when it comes to Subnautica, like its atmosphere or its gameplay, but its ability to put despair and loneliness into the player was just one of the things that really made it stand out from other games, and is definitely one of my favorite things about the game. Even though I could talk about the story for like 4 hours, but... Of course, this entire video, every single thing that was just talked about, instantly becomes null and void when you get the cuttlefish, so... I actually don't know why I made this video. Hope you guys like Worms 3D.